Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on whether you're in the West Coast or the East Coast or the Midwest. I hope you all are feeling well today. This is Makeda Valletto. Welcome if you don't know. So it's been a while since I've done an IG Live, but today I'm going to talk about a topic, some woman power shit, okay? Some female sexuality stuff. If you follow my work and you've been following me for a while, hold on a minute. You should know that I'm a sacred sexual educator. A lot of people ask me what that is, and I'll do a longer video about that, but sexuality is sacred, basically, which doesn't mean it's something to be controlled or hidden or ashamed about. I was raised different than most people because I wasn't raised in religion, thankfully. So glad about that. Because I feel like religion has messed up people's minds a lot. And there are people who might have been raised religious who claim to have gotten out of that and gotten rid of the brainwashing, but a lot of times it still affects them. And even when you're not raised religious, because society is so influenced, like our social standards is so influenced by religion, a lot of people still have an issue being affected by it. So for me, because I wasn't raised that way, I wasn't brainwashed with that, I was not only taught to think for myself, but I always have thought for myself. But also, I have a twin brother. So all of my life, I have always looked at what's masculine and what's feminine. People say girls do this and boys do this. Girls are this way and boys are that way. I've always questioned that and observed that. Like, there's a lot of similarities between men and women, but there's also a lot of differences between men and women. And when it comes to sexuality, the differences between men and women are highly based on myth that is perpetuated by religion. Like that women can't have sex with somebody unless they're in love with them, or that women cheat because they're missing something at home, like emotionally, you know. And I see a lot of conversations on social media where women talk about like giving something away to men. Like they're like, this is one page, it's like giving women advice about how to get men, and it's saying like we shouldn't have sex with a man unless he invests a lot of money in you first, because men only take things seriously when they've invested a lot of money. And all these women are talking about how they don't have sex unless a man has invested a bunch of money first. They won't even talk to him about it. But to me, I'm thinking like, but what about your sexual needs? Like, don't you ever get horny? Like, don't you just want to have sex? Like, to me, there's that. Like, there's one thing if you're thinking about building a long-term relationship with somebody, certain things have to be in order and whatever. You might be using a certain tactic, even though I'm not about playing games. A lot of people, most people do. But somebody can invest money in you and could be this great person on paper and even treat you good, but the sex might be whack as fuck, you know? And so there are women just like men who will go get what they need someplace else. And I don't know why men act like, you know, they're so shocked by that, or they try to perpetuate this myth, because let's be real. How many men have had sex with somebody's girlfriend or wife, which is wrong? I'm not about that. I'm just saying a lot of people get down like that. That's why I'm into open relationships, because I'm not about the sneaking around and all the games and everything. But plenty of men have messed with somebody's girl, just like plenty of girls have messed with somebody's man. So to think that only men cheat, or only men are the ones that do it, or only men are the only ones that want variety, when the sex stores are full of toys for women, women just aren't as honest about it, because society has taught us to not be. You know, society has taught us that we're not supposed to be sexual. That as a woman, like, it's okay for men to be sexual. It's okay for men to go do their thing and be wild and have fun and have all these women. You know, if a guy is out at a club with his male friends, his dad, his cousin, his brother, any dudes, and he's with a girl and he leaves with a woman, like, all his guy friends are excited for him. They're giving him props. They're not even questioning nothing. If a dude brings home 5 bad chicks in 1 week, whatever dude he's living with is like, oh, you lucky shit. But if it's the other way around, and a girl wants to leave a club with a dude she met, all her female friends are hating, who's that, where you going, oh no, you know, trying to block everything. And if a woman were to bring home 5 gorgeous ass fucking Idris Elba looking men a week, or in a week, everybody would be concerned and think that something was wrong with her, you know? But it's like, when it comes to sexuality, men and women, I feel like both have a similar sex drive, and I feel like women actually may crave sex more than men, unless it's a suppressed woman. You have a lot of women who have been abused. There's men who've been abused too. But a lot of women who've been abused, a lot of women who have daddy issues, a lot of women who have that, and they're operating, like, it affects their sexuality. So now they feel like it's something to control a man, or something to get a man, or something to keep a man. See, for me, I've never been concerned with keeping a man, because first of all, I have no problem being single. First of all, as long as, you know, I have my needs met. My needs need to be met. When I'm in a relationship, a lot of times my needs aren't met in the way that they need to be, because in all reality, I don't feel like my sex drive is too crazy, but in all reality, most men can't keep up. Like, you know, at least the ones that I've chosen to be in relationships with. And there's a lot of women who say that, you know, there's a lot of women who, because women are multi-orgasmic. Some men, you know, can fulfill that without being drained or whatever. But people's sexual compatibility, you know, can vary. But regardless of that, any man that I've ever dealt with, you know, that I can remember, I know men that I haven't had sex with for like 8 years, you know. I know men I haven't seen for about 10 years, and they still hit me up. And I'm like, you still remember me? Like, you're still thinking about me? There was a dude last night on my Instagram who I went on a date with years ago. I can't even remember. What year is this? This 2019? It was over 6 years ago, over 7 years ago that I've even seen him. I don't remember his fucking name, okay? Saw him once in Maryland. He was trying to convince me to like marry him and move into his house and everything. And he was stable and all that, but he was so fucking corny. And his sex was so whack. And to me, if I'm an intelligent person, okay? So you can see me be naked, you can see me dance and shake my ass. Yeah, that's all good. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm very smart. Very, very smart. Okay, I have a book collection that's out of this world. I'm a researcher. I came from a family of intellectuals and freedom fighters. So everything I do, I have a reason for doing it. I don't do anything I'm ashamed of. Everything I do is because I want to do it. I'm in control of my body. I know that during sex, there are times in my life when a man has said to me, oh, whose is it, or something. And that's the wrong thing to say to me, because you ain't never going to hear me say yours. I'm going to say it's mine. All of this is mine. And if I choose to share it with you, then cool. But, you know, it's like I have needs. So I'm not the type of woman that's going to be like, I'm not going to have sex for a year. I'm not going to have sex for 2 years because I'm waiting for the right man. While I'm waiting for the right man, I still need to have sex. You know, so there are people, you know, you got friends with benefits, people who are just that. I wish I could have that with a woman, but women are way more difficult. And that's one thing that I appreciate about men, is that men are a lot more honest and proactive about their sexuality and what they want sexually. Women a lot of times feel like they have to hide things and they have to, you know, play these games and they have to, but life is too fucking short. You know what I'm saying? Life is too short. You get older, stuff might start working. Well, not for me, because I take care of everything, including the inside. But stuff might stop working as well. You know, then you can't have sex anymore and you just miss that. Now you're sitting there regretting all the years that she was holding yourself up, holding up your orgasmic potential. So anyhow, this dude that I was talking about from years ago, I don't even remember his name anymore. I remember the sex wasn't good. I don't remember it. You know, I honestly don't even remember the details of it. I just remember that it was whack as fuck. It wasn't memorable. I didn't keep that shit in my memory banks because I have too many other important things to remember, so I don't remember that. And there are men that I haven't seen for over 10 years who remember the outfit I had on the first time they saw me, the last time they saw me, and I'm like, I don't remember nothing. I don't remember what she was wearing. I don't remember what you said. I barely, like, that shit's all a blur. You know, it's like, whatever. You ain't that important. Now, this dude, you know, was getting all mad because, you know, I had made a post. Somebody who I follow on Instagram who I love the things she posts. She's a straight up wild woman, and I love the shit. I love women who are wild and speak up real about sexuality. And a lot of times I don't say the raunchy things that I'm thinking because people react so much crazier when I say it, right? But she had posted something about a meme about a man who cooks and cleans and makes his woman come, and that's treating her like a queen. And it's so amazing how many men got mad at that. And I'm like, these men are so fucking stupid. Because first of all, Like for me, I will cook and clean and make my man come. But at the same time, he has to do the same shit for me. I'm not with that one-sided shit. And in most of the world, women are severely suppressed and sexually treated wrong by men in these machismo societies. I mean, you could look at Asia, you could look at African countries, you could look at a lot of Caribbean countries, a lot of South American countries, where women don't have shit. Women need a man to survive. The violence against women is horrible. Like in Honduras, that's the #1 place for femicide, of men killing women, killing their wives, killing their girlfriends, and nobody cares and nobody does shit. You know what I'm saying? So if I live in the United States and I don't have those worries, and I don't live in the Middle East where they could stone me to death for speaking or showing my skin, right? I live in America. So people can't do that. The only thing people can do is call me names. And like I give a fuck. Because honestly, all kids should have been raised this way. I know for me, I was raised to sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. And I remember even as a kid, when kids would say mean things or say dumb things, I would just say that. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I don't give a fuck what you say. And see, to me, I have self-confidence, self-worth, and self-love. And a lot of that probably comes from how I was raised, you know. Thankfully, I don't have childhood trauma, you know, which a lot of times can affect people's self-love. And that's something that is unfortunate because there's so many people, so many adults in this world having kids and fucking them up for their whole life that the rest of the world has to deal with, you know, these traumatized people. And no offense to the people who are, but I'm just saying, you know, that's just proof that life is not fair because you have so many idiots who should never have children who have a bunch of kids. And then you have people who would be great parents who have none. That just shows you life is not fair, right? But these damaged, you know, like, there's so many adults that are seriously damaging kids, not protecting their kids, abusing their kids, and then they end up being abusive, off-balance adults who sometimes never get healed. And then you combine that with religion, and that's the whole story, right? And so for me, like, I've always been who I am, you know, like, I have a great family that I come from. You know, my dad is a feminist. I talk about that in some of my other videos. I was raised by a feminist man, a very smart black man. One of the smartest people I've ever been around is my dad. And he gave me the skills. Not gave it to me, but he reinforced my critical thinking and researching. Because growing up, every single opinion my brother and I had to back that shit up with facts. My dad would shoot it down with facts. He had so many books. And I'm not talking about street scholar books that was written by Raheem and them on the corner. No, I'm talking about scholarly books. Scholarly text, okay? About shit from all over the world. And he had like a photographic memory. He could just recite things. He would just shut my brother and up with facts, facts, facts. So my brother and I both learned not to speak, not to express our opinion, and not to form an opinion until we have done thorough research on both sides, right? So everything that I do has a reason behind it, and I do what I want to do for me. So for me, it's like I have sexual needs. I'm never going to go some long period of time and not have sex. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm also not the kind of woman who's going to be in a relationship with somebody and we're not having enough sex. I'm going to be okay with that. Like, none of that shit works for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just not me. It's not my path. It's not what I'm about. But I also am not going to accept disrespect or mediocre shit. And so this dude, I think I never finished the story from back in the day, he got all upset. He got his panties in a bunch because of that post that I wrote about men who, the post that I reposted about men who cook, clean, and make their woman come and treat them like a queen. They're keepers. And so many men got mad at that. Oh, that's a beta male, and an alpha male doesn't do that. It's like, you idiot, okay? And then they say things like, well, I did that, but a woman won't respect you if you do that. That's totally not true. Like, first of all, you're a man. How can you speak about what a woman will respect? And all women aren't the same. All women aren't the same, and all men aren't the same. So if you treated somebody really good and they didn't appreciate it, that's not because women don't respect it. That's because you chose the wrong motherfucking woman. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because on the flip side, there's even more women who have catered to their men and been screwed. You know what I'm saying? Does that mean that all men don't respect a woman who treats them good? No. That means that some ungrateful assholes don't. That doesn't mean that it's everybody. That means you have to be more discerning about who you do that to. You have to be more discerning about who you're going to pamper and who you're going to take care of like that. You know what I'm saying? And look at unappreciative people, because there are men and women who are totally unappreciative. But the thing is, I had no fucking patience to hear these men whine about this, because I'm like, how much of the world, this shit is so off balance, how much of the world, look around the world, like I said, look at African countries, look at Asian countries, look at a lot of Caribbean countries, the damn Dominican Republic, they think their wife is a goddamn maid or something, you know what I'm saying? And those men don't do that shit in return. They be having a secret family somewhere else. They got, you know, and that's the thing. A lot of places, the men can have these different women, they got a family over there, they got a family over there, but then she's not expected to do that. Again, I'm not the one. I'm so not the one, because I'm the type of female that's like, okay, if you can have other chicks, don't think I can't have other dudes, because it's even easier for me. It's easier for an attractive woman to get other men than it is for a dude to even get other women. So the fact that women like will stroke a man's ego and sit there and suffer and deal with this dude who can't even please them, but then he got these other women, these other wives, and she's, fuck that shit. Nope, not doing it. I don't even respect women who do that. Now, a lot of women are trained to put their needs behind a man. They're trained to run themselves into the ground for this man. For this man who a lot of times treats them like shit, doesn't give a fuck, and is not reciprocating. So that's the story in most of the world. So for someone to say that from a woman's perspective, if you meet a man who likes to treat you like a queen, cook, cleans, and makes you come, that doesn't mean that it's every single day. That doesn't mean he's your personal fucking servant. No. But he cares enough to do those things. That man is a keeper. Yes, that man is a keeper. Because every woman is looking for different things. Some women just care about a man with money to pay her bills and take care of her. And I feel like a lot of times that's a Southern mentality. And I don't even know if that's necessarily a New Orleans mentality, because I feel like New Orleans women are a little bit wilder and different. And I love New Orleans women. The women in New Orleans are my favorite women in all of America. Maybe all of the world, actually. Because New Orleans women are really wild. They do what the fuck they want. All the women I know in New Orleans got a husband and kids, and they be out in the street doing their shit. And it's like the men be home with the kids. And they out partying, drinking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I love New Orleans women. I love to see women who stand in their sexual power and don't allow, you know, the ideas of other people to affect how they move. And luckily, my experience in New Orleans is that the men there don't have that either. Like, you see a woman who just starts twerking in the middle of the street or bouncing, because that's what they do. And the dudes will watch, but I never see them violate. I never see them say, oh, why is that? Why is she acting like a hoe? Or trying to grab her or touch her. No. They just watch and appreciate, you know. Because you'll get, when women feel safe, women will stand in their sexuality more and display that more. But when women don't feel safe, and a lot of women don't feel safe because so much of this world is full of violent, crazy-ass, entitled-ass men, women have to hold that back a lot. So as a man, if you learn to be accepting and quiet and observant and just let her do her, you will see that sexual side of women come out more, like their true self, you know, if she's comfortable with herself. But yeah, so that dude, it's like he resorts to, you know, dissing me and bringing up the stuff from the past that half of it was made up. But I'm like, dude, I don't even remember you. Like, you've been watching me for years. He's talking about my ex from 4 years ago. I'm like, you were paying attention to me that much that you know who my ex is from 4 years ago? Like, dude, you're paying attention to me way too much, and now you've got your panties in a bunch. You're acting like a little bitch because I don't pay you any attention. I don't give a fuck. And I'm saying that this is the kind of man that I would keep, is a man who does know how to cook. Because that's amazing. I mean, I cook, and I would cook for a man, and it's not a requirement that a man cooks for me, but if a man can cook, then that is so many points, you know. Cleaning, yes. And great orgasms, a must. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're supposed to nourish each other, you know. And so a dude who feels like all he has to do is, oh, I'm supposed to be the breadwinner, and that's all I'm supposed to do is just bring home money. No. Because I've never been looking for a man to take care of me. Like, I've always been independent-minded. If I choose to be with a man, then yes, we should complement each other. He should at least be able to hold his own, you know, and we could, you know, be secure together. But it's like, I'm not a kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm a grown-ass woman. So I don't need anybody's permission for how I move and how I express my sexuality. I don't need anybody to take care of me. You know what I'm saying? I always got men around me. I got dudes, you know, like if I need something, because, you know, a woman you can't say you don't need men, because you need men for certain things, you know. I might need a man to change a light bulb. I might need a man to fix some shit. Might need a man to come do something with my TV. I might need a man for sex. I might need a man for protection, whatever. But that's why you got friends too, you know. I got dudes, different places. Like, I'm good. Like, I just don't, I'm not ever going to let anybody control me or bully me into being a certain way. And so when men who used to be sweating you, then all of a sudden want to call you a hoe, you know, which is in the past couple of days happened to me a couple of times by people who used to be just hanging from my ass hairs, including that dude. Now you want to call me that because I don't care about you, because I'm not interested in you, because you're nobody, because you're not one of the dudes in my hit list, because you're insignificant. So now your little insecure ass wants to call me names. I care. I don't care. Nothing that anybody can call me is going to change how I move and what I do, because they're not smarter than me. They don't know more about me and my body than I do. And I just don't care. It's just such immaturity. Like, if I was once attracted to somebody and had once, you know, been sexual with someone, the last thing I would do is start calling names, because that's so stupid. It's like, I remember in high school when a dude would like a girl or something, or maybe high school, college, and then she didn't like him, and then he's like, oh, like maybe he had sex with the girl, and then afterwards he's saying, oh, she stank, she's this, she's that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if she stinks, then why'd you have sex with her? Like, you're the idiot, because if the girl stinks, then why would you put your dick inside of her? Why would you do that? That's dumb. Like, if I am with a dude or a woman and she stinks, it doesn't go any further. You know what I'm saying? So what does that say about you? Like, how can you have sex with somebody and then start dissing them like they're less than, but you had sex with them? And why is it that some men feel like, they're like, you know, they might say something like, oh, I just wanted to conquer you. You just my conquest. First of all, how you know I didn't want to conquer you? How you know I just didn't want to bang you and bye? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't tell you how many times in my life when I've known men who were cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't dislike them because I wouldn't have sex with somebody I disliked. But we had good sex, but you don't need to stay around, just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to, it's nothing, just, okay, we're done, let's go. Like, how do you know a girl doesn't use you for that? Like, how do you know that that's not all she wanted? Why do men think that they're the only ones that could be that way? Men are sadly mistaken when they think that, because there's women who just want you for sex and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But why do you have to turn around and say that? Because what I was telling him was, I don't remember you. I am not thinking about you. I don't pay attention to you. But you've been paying attention to me for years. And for years you keep popping up. I think I block you. You pop me up. You pop up. And I might have had sex with you one time like 7 years ago and I don't even remember it. It's not even memorable. The only thing I remember was that it was whack. And so now, because of that, you want to call me all these names. Like, that's so stupid, but you've been sweating me all this time. Dudes play themselves when they do that, because it's like, we were both there when you were sweating me. We were both there when you were hanging from my ass hairs. So don't play yourself, because we both know what's up. You just look so stupid, acting like a little bitch, whining and complaining because you can't have me and I'm not paying no attention, because you're fucking lame. And you're not the type of dude that I would give a time of day to. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny to me when dudes do that, because you want to call a woman who stands in her sexual power, who's sexually independent, who actually, sexually independent women are the most powerful women. Like the virgin queens and the virgin goddesses were owned by no one, owned by no man. The Amazon woman, which I'll do a video about that another time. Amazon doesn't just mean, people think Amazon means tall, fine woman. No, that's not what it is. An Amazon woman is a certain type of woman from a certain time and place in history. They were fighting women. And a lot of times their sexuality was owned by no one. They were completely fierce on their own and controlled their own shit. You know what I'm saying? So it just sounds so dumb to think that, like, okay, so this woman and that's the thing I used to tell women even in college. Like, if you have sex with a dude and now he thinks less of you tomorrow because you had sex with him on the first night or you had sex with him on the first week or whatever. And so women might be, I don't want to have sex with him too soon because I don't want him to think that about me. I don't give a fuck, because if I want it, then I want it. And so I'm going to do it because I want to do it, period, right? But if tomorrow you think less of me, then I'm glad to know that, because then I know that you're immature and I don't have to deal with you anymore. I'd rather that be the case than me play these mind games. I'm not gonna have sex with him for 3 or 4 months and so now I'm holding up my orgasmic potential, all my juiciness and orgasmic potential, playing these games, right? They're not gonna have sex with him and the shit could be whack anyway. So a lot of times having sex sooner is good because you might realize that I'm not sexually compatible with this person. So all the other shit that he may have, that's not gonna work because without sex, it's just not gonna work. So sexual compatibility is important. But also, if somebody's that immature minded, I don't want to deal with them. I'm not trying to reconvince a dude who's really immature to think differently. No, you know what I'm saying? So to me, playing all those games about, oh, he thinks this, if he thinks that, if you did it because you wanted to do it, then who cares if he thinks that tomorrow? Then if you find it out, don't fuck with him anymore. Move on. But you did that because you wanted to do it. You got your needs met. The same way a man can do that, a woman can do that too. And, you know, so turning around and this dude that didn't have sex with 10 times the amount of women that women have dealt with, and then they want to call her names. It's like, that will never hurt my feelings. That will never stop me from being who I am. I will never stop dancing because dance is deep medicine to me. Like, you could just see me dancing in a bikini, dancing however, and you're like, oh, this girl's always dancing. But I have a degree of exercise and sports science and nutrition. And I went to graduate school at Columbia University, and I'm in graduate school now. And I'll be in school for a while. So I'm a nerd, and I'm smart, and I study the body. And everything that I do, everything that I am and what I'm here for, I embody that. So there's nobody that can stop my path. There's nobody that can stop my shine. There's nobody that can stop the kind of woman that I am. And I would love, it's my dream and mission, one of my missions, to help other women be that same way. To stand up in their sexual power, to not give a fuck about that. Fuck the lame ass dudes, don't fuck with them. There are men in this world who are mature enough and man enough to deal with a real woman, an empowered woman, a woman who is not suppressing her sexuality and who she is. And those are the men who are truly strong men in the way that men are supposed to be. Because all this other suppressing of women and dissing women, that comes from the toxicity and the brainwashing of patriarchal religion. Namely, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity has people's heads fucked up. And that's just a fact. And there's tons of books on this subject. But I'm gonna stop talking because I have some work to do. So I hope you all are great, and this is my IG live. I'm gonna repost it on my my YouTube page, the Renaissance Amazon. Have a good day and thanks for listening. Bye.